You won't believe what happened on May 12th, 2017. In just 4 hours, over 200,000 computers across 150 countries were held hostage. Hospitals shut down, patients turned away, businesses crippled, governments paralyzed. And the attackers? They demanded $300 per computer, or your files would be destroyed forever. But here's what nobody saw coming. The hero who stopped it all was a 22-year-old working from his bedroom who accidentally saved the world. And then he got arrested. This is the shocking truth behind WannaCry, the largest ransomware attack in human history. Friday, May 12th, 2017. It started like any other day. Office workers around the globe were sipping their morning coffee, checking emails, preparing for another ordinary weekend. But something sinister was already spreading, something that would change cybersecurity forever. At 7:45 a.m. Greenwich Mean Time, the first infection was detected. A computer in Asia suddenly displayed a terrifying message, red text, a countdown clock, a demand. "Oops, your files have been encrypted." The message was simple, chilling, and devastatingly effective. Pay $300 in Bitcoin within 3 days, or the ransom doubles to $600. Wait 7 days? Your files are deleted forever. Family photos, business documents, medical records, everything gone. But this wasn't just hitting one computer. This was spreading exponentially. Within minutes, dozens of computers were infected. Within an hour, thousands. By lunchtime, tens of thousands. The malware was moving faster than anyone had ever seen. It didn't need someone to click a link. It didn't need an email attachment to be opened. It simply spread, like a digital wildfire consuming everything in its path. Organizations that had stood for centuries were brought to their knees in moments. The Spanish telecommunications giant Telefonica, infected. Germany's Deutsche Bahn railway system, crippled. FedEx, compromised. Renault factories across France, shut down production lines. Universities in China, paralyzed. Russia's interior ministry hit hard. But the most devastating impact? That was about to unfold in the United Kingdom. The National Health Service, Britain's pride, their free healthcare system that serves 66 million people. At approximately 12:30 p.m., hospitals across England and Scotland began experiencing catastrophic system failures. Doctors couldn't access patient records, ambulances were diverted, surgeries were canceled, emergency rooms went dark. Imagine this. You're rushed to the hospital with a life-threatening condition, but the doctors can't see your medical history. They don't know your allergies. They can't access your blood type. The computers display only one thing, that horrifying ransom message. 16 hospitals and medical facilities were forced to turn patients away. Lives hung in the balance, and the attackers, they didn't care. All they wanted was money. But that's not all. Wait till you see what happened next. To understand WannaCry, we need to go back to a secret that should never have been leaked. The United States National Security Agency, the NSA, had discovered something powerful. A vulnerability in Microsoft Windows, a backdoor that could give them access to any computer running the operating system. They called it Eternal Blue. For years, the NSA kept this secret weapon hidden, using it for surveillance and intelligence gathering. They never told Microsoft. They never warned the public. They just used it. But in April 2017, just 1 month before WannaCry struck, something catastrophic happened. A mysterious group calling themselves the Shadow Brokers leaked Eternal Blue to the world. The NSA's secret weapon was now available to anyone. Hackers, criminals, nation-states. Microsoft scrambled to release a security patch on March 14, 2017. They begged organizations to update their systems. But here's the problem. Millions of computers were never updated. Old systems, outdated software, organizations that couldn't afford downtime. They remained vulnerable. And someone was watching. Someone was waiting. Intelligence agencies now believe that someone was the Lazarus Group, a state-sponsored hacking organization operating out of North Korea. The same group behind the Sony Pictures hack in 2014. The same group that stole $81 million from Bangladesh Bank in 2016. They were sophisticated, ruthless, invisible, and they had just found the perfect weapon. WannaCry wasn't just ransomware. It was a worm, a self-replicating piece of malware that could jump from computer to computer without any human interaction. It scanned networks looking for vulnerable machines. When it found one, it struck instantly, encrypting 176 different file types, documents, spreadsheets, photos, videos, databases, all locked behind military-grade encryption. The ransom note appeared in 28 languages. This wasn't targeting one country, one organization, one demographic. This was targeting everyone. The attackers had calculated everything. $300 was low enough that individuals might pay. But multiply that by 200,000 infected computers, that's $60 million. A fortune, especially for a regime under international sanctions. As the attack spread across the globe, cybersecurity experts went into overdrive. Government agencies activated emergency protocols. Microsoft took the unprecedented step of releasing security patches for Windows XP, an operating system they had stopped supporting 3 years earlier. But it was too late. The damage was spreading faster than anyone could contain it. Experts estimated the global cost at $4 billion. $4 billion in lost productivity, canceled surgeries, corrupted data, and emergency response. And still, the malware kept spreading. Computer after computer, network after network. Nothing seemed able to stop it. The world watched in horror as the digital pandemic consumed everything. But that's not all. Wait till you see who stopped it. While the world panicked, a 22-year-old in England was having a normal Friday. Marcus Hutchins, known online as Malware Tech, a self-taught computer security researcher who had taught himself to code as a teenager. He worked from his bedroom, analyzing malware, writing security blogs, helping companies understand cyber threats. He was good at what he did, really good, but he had no idea he was about to become a global hero. That morning, Marcus woke up to his Twitter feed exploding with news about a massive cyber attack. He did what any curious security researcher would do. He obtained a sample of the WannaCry malware and started analyzing it. Line by line, code by code, looking for weaknesses, searching for answers. And then, he found something strange. Buried in the code was a peculiar function. Before WannaCry would encrypt any files, it would first try to connect to a specific domain. A long, random, nonsensical domain name. IUQERFSODP 9IFJAPOSDFJHGOSURIJFAEWRWERGWEA.com. If the domain existed, the malware would stop. If it didn't, the malware would activate. This was a kill switch. But why would the attackers include a kill switch? Most researchers believe it was meant as an anti-sandbox measure to prevent security companies from analyzing the malware in controlled environments. But Marcus saw an opportunity. He checked if the domain was registered. It wasn't. So he did something simple, something brilliant. He registered it himself. $10.99. That's all it cost to register the domain. And just like that, the spread of WannaCry slowed dramatically. Every time a new computer got infected, the malware would check for that domain. And now, it existed. Marcus had accidentally activated the kill switch. He had stopped the largest cyber attack in history, from his bedroom, for less than $11. News spread quickly. Security researchers around the world confirmed what had happened. This unknown researcher had saved countless computers, countless organizations, perhaps even lives. Marcus Hutchins became an overnight hero. Headlines called him the savior of the internet, the accidental hero who stopped WannaCry. News cameras camped outside his home. Interview requests poured in. The cybersecurity community celebrated. Companies wanted to hire him. Governments wanted to thank him. He had done what massive organizations with unlimited resources couldn't do. He found the off switch. But Marcus remained humble. In interviews, he insisted he wasn't a hero. He said he was just doing his job, fighting malware, because it's the right thing to do. He warned that this wasn't over. The attackers could modify the code, remove the kill switch, and release a new version. And he was right to be cautious, because while he had stopped the spread, the damage was already done. Over 200,000 computers in 150 countries remained encrypted. Victims still faced the agonizing choice: pay the ransom or lose everything. And here's what most people don't know. Very few victims actually paid. Security experts warned against paying ransoms, saying it funded criminal enterprises. Plus, there was no guarantee the attackers would actually decrypt your files. But that's not all. Wait till you see the shocking twist that nobody expected. August 3rd, 2017. 3 months after saving the world from WannaCry. Marcus Hutchins was at DEF CON, one of the world's largest hacking conferences in Las Vegas, Nevada. He had been invited as a guest of honor, a celebrity in the cybersecurity world. He gave interviews, attended parties, networked with other researchers. It should have been the highlight of his career. Instead, it became a nightmare. As Marcus prepared to fly home to England, FBI agents approached him at the airport. He was arrested. The charges? Creating and distributing banking malware years before WannaCry. Specifically, the Kronos Banking Trojan, a piece of malware designed to steal financial information. The cybersecurity community was stunned. How could the hero who stopped WannaCry be accused of creating malware himself? The irony was devastating. The man who had saved millions from a cyber attack was being prosecuted for allegedly participating in one. Marcus spent months fighting the charges. He couldn't return home to England. He was stuck in America, facing decades in prison if convicted. His lawyers argued that he had made mistakes as a teenager, experimenting with code without fully understanding the consequences. They presented evidence of his transformation into a legitimate security researcher who had dedicated his career to fighting malware, not creating it. The case divided the cybersecurity community. Some saw it as necessary justice for past crimes. Others saw it as a betrayal, prosecuting someone who had recently saved countless organizations from disaster. In April 2019, Marcus Hutchins pleaded guilty to 2 charges related to creating malware. But the judge showed leniency. Marcus was sentenced to time served, supervised release, and community service. No prison time. The judge acknowledged his contributions to cybersecurity and his efforts to make amends for past mistakes. Marcus could finally return home. Today, Marcus Hutchins continues to work in cybersecurity. He shares his knowledge through blogs, talks, and consulting. He remains a controversial figure, both hero and cautionary tale. His story reminds us that people are complex, that redemption is possible, and that even those who make mistakes can change the world for the better. But what about WannaCry itself? What happened to the attackers? In December 2017, the United States government officially attributed the WannaCry attack to North Korea, specifically to the Lazarus Group operating under the direction of the North Korean government. The United Kingdom, Australia, Canada, New Zealand, Denmark, and Japan all issued supporting statements. The evidence was compelling. Code similarities to previous Lazarus Group attacks, infrastructure overlaps, linguistic clues in the malware, payment wallet behaviors. In September 2018, the United States Department of Justice charged a North Korean programmer named Park Jin-hyuk with conspiracy to conduct the WannaCry attack, along with multiple other cybercrimes. The charges outlined years of North Korean state-sponsored hacking operations designed to generate revenue for the regime while evading international sanctions. But here's the reality. Park Jin-hyuk has never been arrested. He remains in North Korea, protected by a government that doesn't recognize international cybercrime laws. The attackers made critical mistakes. They only earned approximately $140,000 from the attack, far less than the $60 million they could have made. Why? Because most victims refused to pay, and those who did pay often found their files weren't decrypted. The payment system was poorly designed. The attackers couldn't effectively process payments and provide decryption keys. It was a sophisticated technical attack with an amateurish business model. But the impact went far beyond money. WANNACRY changed everything. Organizations around the world finally understood that cybersecurity wasn't optional. Governments increased funding for cyber defense. Companies prioritized security updates. The term ransomware entered mainstream vocabulary. Healthcare systems implemented new protocols. Insurance companies created cybersecurity policies. The attack cost billions, but it also prevented potentially worse attacks by forcing the world to take cyber threats seriously. Reflective music. And WANNACRY isn't gone. Even today, in 2025, WANNACRY infections are still detected. Computers running outdated systems, forgotten servers, legacy machines in warehouses and factories, they remain vulnerable. The malware still exists, still spreading slowly, still encrypting files. It's a reminder that cyber threats don't just disappear. They evolve. They persist. They wait. The Eternal Blue exploit that powered WANNACRY has been used in countless other attacks. Nation-states, criminal organizations, and individual hackers have all leveraged the stolen NSA tool. The Shadow Brokers leak didn't just enable one attack. It opened Pandora's box. The WANNACRY story teaches us several critical lessons. First, cybersecurity is everyone's responsibility. One unpatched computer can become the entry point for global disaster. Second, transparency matters. If the NSA had disclosed the Eternal Blue vulnerability instead of weaponizing it, WANNACRY might never have happened. Third, heroes come from unexpected places. A 22-year-old working from his bedroom can save the world when billion-dollar organizations fail. Fourth, redemption is possible. People can change, learn from mistakes, and contribute positively despite past errors. And fifth, the digital age has created new battlefields. Cyber attacks can cause real-world harm, affecting hospitals, infrastructure, and lives.